Whoa, golden sun, my distant paradise. Caribbean, yeah, paradise. Gotta save it, yeah. Woke up this morning to the sounds of a blazing gun. Another one shot down, another victim, another one. It's getting wicked out here, so we keep it alive, one. Yeah, nice. Nice. I'm gonna show me the paradise, redemption. We need it. Wake up, stop sleeping. Paradise redemption. Paradise redemption. Paradise redemption. Not only killing out the poorest, but everybody has somebody with the local business. Yes, what's up, family? Karibuni sana to yet another episode of the Pan African Bliss right here on the Black Fire Network radio station. Shout out to everyone who's streaming and listening to me through the radio station, to everyone who's with us on Facebook and those who are with us on YouTube. Karibuni sana. Yes, we're live on the radio station. We're back running up right here, and I'm so excited because man, this internet has been doing us that thing. But I hope you guys are doing amazing today. And of course, Karibuni Sana, we're looking forward to yet another beautiful conversation right here as we get to see what is happening across the African continent. Yesterday was a beautiful day for the for most of the African countries, in terms of like Kenya, South Africa, and of course we also have Namibia, which is looking forward to do the same thing that we had these two countries doing, and that was the demonstration that was held countrywide. And of course, this song, reggae music, personally, I always feel like it has a music, it has a message. Sorry, it has a message of revolution. That is what personally what I've grown up like listening to reggae music, what it's all about. In likes of like people like Lucky Dube and all that, they have been bringing that vibe of African people. We need revolution. And that is how we're starting the vibe today. So karibuni sana for the first time listeners. My name is Joby, and I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. And karibuni sana to the Pan African Blaze. Hunger and starvation. Political leaders shutting up on the cover, and the poor and the hungry, them a face of the poverty. Business minds, growing governments, power and being destroyed and paradise. Strike camps and hit the streets. Drugs and guns are their salvation. Everybody feeling the pressure. The streets are safe, all of us in danger. Man and woman and child, boys and what was paradise. What's going on? We heading for disaster. Yes, it's a easy Tuesday. I don't know about you. Personally, I feel amazing this particular morning. And of course, Karibuni Sana once again to the Pan African Place. Let me know where you're listening to me from. For the first time viewers, to those who are with us on the radio station, shout out to you. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. For those who are with us on the radio station, I'm even feeling happy when I'm saying it because, man, I've been looking forward to see how this internet of ours is going to be working correctly. And finally, it decided to act up. And I'm just so happy that you guys can be able to be listening to us through all the media section, rather through the radio station as well. Shout out to you, Danny Harrison. I see you on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, for those who are joining us also through YouTube, I hope you guys can be able to join me and have this amazing discussion. Paradise Redemption. That is not Harry Kelly. Damn. That is Tara's Riley. Yeah, Tara's Riley featuring a few artists on this one. And of course, what I personally I think I've grown up saying and what I was actually saying and the image I've gotten about reggae music is we need revolution, as African people, because when you look at most of the people when they speak about when you look at people like Lucky Dube, maybe some people I can't really mention, but you guys know the reggae artists from long time time ago, from in the 80s, the 90s, the 70s. These people have been literally singing about how we Africans, what Africans literally went through in terms of slavery, how, people are being tortured, the taking over of lands by the white man and all this. And personally, I think, especially with the Lucky Dube's videos, I think he's my favorite reggae artist from long time ago, because I used to see the images and they used to give me the vibe of like, wow, so this is what actually happened. I didn't really have the clear image, because remember, again, we've been so indoctrinated. You're getting this, someone is trying to give you the truth, but maybe trying to speak out the truth. And of course, he was killed because I think he was an activist. And I don't know, maybe Samuel and Judge Guy can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was an activist. Lucky Dube was an activist, and through his song, he was really spreading message. And the message, like, personally, if at that young age I could really understand what the essence was, it was all about like, let's fight for what is rightfully ours. What, let's fight to what is just rightfully ours. And I believe that is what you see right now Africans doing. Of course, we shall be talking about Namibia, and I just want to take you back to one more jam. Since we're talking about revolution, for me, I'm starting with some reggae vibes today. And of course, this is by Roman Vago, and I hope you guys get to enjoy it. We'll be back with the quote of the day as usual. Let me know where you're streaming with me from. What's the time? I see Danny Harrison. You're saying, let me see your comment. You're saying that I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. What's the time on your end? I'd love to hear from you. Kindly let me know what is the time on your end. But for me, it is exactly 41 minutes past 1 p.m. It's lunchtime, of course. And of course, people are looking forward to see what they're going to be having for lunch. But as for me, I'm bringing you nothing but just positive vibes all day. I hope you get to enjoy. It's called it. And this actually yesterday demonstration we had, some people shot dead, president was dead. Some person was barely even in the protest, just a mechanic minding his business. He was also shot dead. So it's come to the point where we need to discuss, like, how, which also connects with one of the things we were talking about yesterday, when the Central African Republic was won by the Chinese government, that they need to be stopped to stop, I don't want to use words that are gonna be, sense. They say this. You need to stop torture, not really torturing, but I want to use a very smooth word. I want to use a very smooth word. We should make their people. We should stop making their people suffer. Yeah, I think that's the simplest I can really do. Because when I try to look at it in the terms of rather like African people, that is exactly what they have done. They have made us suffer not only through colonization, them still invading our lands and all this. We've seen the white man what he's doing. Yesterday, if you were with us on the Africa Today show, we learned a couple of things regarding Ghana and what is happening. But I see Danny is saying that it is exactly 41 minutes. I bet 42 minutes past 4 a.m. on your end. And thank you so much for tuning in. But for now, we shall get back to one more banger, like I said. And of course, we'll be back with the quote of the day. This is Roman Vago with Who Knows It, Feels It. For me, I feel like the youths are feeling it the most. I don't know about you, but we shall be breaking down with all these topics.
This one is for all of the hardworking people, Jamaican people. Some don't know what it feels like. Be a word from 6 in the morning, straight up to midnight. I'm here to tell you, you think it's easy for power stand up and the shop all day, and nothing not one. You think it's easy for farmers stay up and the sun all day, upload and farm. It's no easy, being a vendor, nor a taxi man. No, you think it's easy to stand up and know what you use a crazy food in you.
Who knows it?
We are feeling from a little and a grow.
Who feels it knows it.
Sometimes we feel like we let go.
Who feels it knows it.
We are feeling from a little and a grow.
Who feels it knows it. I want the judge. Yeah.
You think it's easy we know that early morning and had a come for the rent. Well, deep down in yourself, you know say you don't have a sense. You know me feel it, feel the youth them. When you have to sleep on the street, them not here for the youth them, and I love them is sick. So
Who knows it.
We are feeling from a little and a grow. Who feels it knows it. Sometimes it feel like we let go.
How feels it knows it.
We are feeling from we.
Yes, and my quote of the day today says that the revolution has always been in the hands of the young. The young always inherit the revolution. Can I repeat that again? The revolution has always been in the hands of the young. The young always inherit the revolution. That is my quote of the day. Do you agree with me? Because let me ask you, do you, when you look at Africa, because yesterday, according to the protest I saw, and this is actually true because personally I go hand in hand and correctly 100% deep with this quote. The revolution has always been in the hands of the young. The young will inherit the revolution. Yesterday's protest we saw in South Africa, in Kenya, today we're looking forward to see in Namibia, right now in general, a revolution. And when you look at the people in the streets, it's the youth. And when you look at the youth, we're talking about unemployment, lack of job opportunities, despite you having to graduate with the PhDs, the masters, and then making actually even education expensive. Because when you talk of even people protesting right now in Kenya, we're including even students. Yesterday, we had a student who was shot. Students are fighting for the rights of, let's say, I should say maybe the rights that their parents cannot really fight for. Because if you're making it hard for my parent to pay school fees, this is affecting me. It is affecting me. Despite us knowing that these are backward, totally making us lost in history and type of, I'll call it westernization type of education. Still, I believe that the list of the knowledge I should get from school should be way too cheap. It doesn't make sense to me, even up to date, how you want everything from Africa, but what you've really done is, apart from indoctrinating the minds, living the religion, how, like, the evilness that it comes with is just super strong of these people. I swear it's hard to bear. It's hard to bear with. It's hard to bear with. Totally hard to bear with. Not only have you indoctrinated people, taken over the land, and colonized them, you know, you've also ensured that school fees is even hard to, even despite changing the most brilliant history that we as African had, and you actually twisted it to your own evil ways. You've ensured that everything is hard to really access. Who feels this? Who feels it really knows it. That is what I'd really agree to this particular song. Roman Vago playing right here on the Black Fire Network. Shout out to everyone who is with us on the radio station. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. And of course, keep your chats coming as well on the show page. Let me know where you're streaming with us from. And of course, if in case you are from Kenya, you can also join me through YouTube channel. So subscribing over there, because I do believe we have some Kenyan audience who have also been listening to us. And I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Danny Harrison is saying that, let me get to read your comment. He's saying, well, yes, because it is up to each individual generation to ensure their survival. Yes, I agree with you too. I agree totally with you too. It is up to us. But if you go to us, majority of the, I don't know if even the youth, because this is one thing that also captures my mind when it comes to these, demonstrations we're having across African countries. One of the things that I am asking myself is that, are we aware what we're really doing? But I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about some few things before we get to that, because my main question of the day, of which you've answered me, Daniel Harrison, thank you so much. I hope for the rest of the family can also be able to join us. The two main channels were taken down yesterday, but we're looking forward to see, if people can also be able to join and stream right here with us. Let me see if I can really be able to share the rest of the link, but they should be able to find us. Totally, they should be able to find us. But yeah, before we get into those other matters of revolution, because again my question goes, do you believe revolution is in the hands of the young? Because the young will in the revolution. That is the question. And that's the quote of the day. That, and of course, let me tell you about it. But starting off, there's a story I wanted to share, which is quite positive before we get into so much negativities. I want to talk about something interesting that I bumped into about Zimbabwe. Shout out to shout out to Tariq Nasheed. We saw a video of him yesterday when he was in Zimbabwe, and he had a T-shirt written Harare. Remember? and I was asking what is literally Arara. It happens to be a place, some parts of Zimbabwe, and there's a story that is coming from there. And this is regarding mushrooms. I don't know how many of you take mushrooms, or consume mushrooms, but mushrooms are really, really healthy. Really, really, really healthy. I don't know how many of you do take mushrooms, but personally, I've taken mushrooms and I'm super in love with them. But not the I like them when they are literally dried in the sun for some time. Then you fry them. It's like a stir frying. It is really, really, really amazing. Personally, I really love them. But there's a story coming from Zimbabwe about wild mushrooms. And before I give the story, personally, I looked up onto, what are the benefits of the wild mushrooms. And because if you are wild, it comes with a lot of heaviness, heaviness. But again, this is something that naturally just grows, from the ground and all this. But I checked the benefits and I saw that the benefit of mushroom itself first, not even the wild mushroom, any type of mushroom, it contains but not genetically modified type of mushroom. Mushrooms contain macronutrients that support a healthy immune system, according to the Mushroom Council. And your immune system will benefit from mushrooms, whose nutrients include selenium, which helps your body make antioxidant enzymes to prevent cell damage, and choose creamine or potable mushrooms for the most benefit. That is what I checked onto. So yes, it does add a benefit in the body, like your immune system. It will benefit your immune system, which helps your body to make antioxidant enzymes to prevent damage from the to the cells. Well, that is positive. So this is a story coming from Zimbabwe, and it's actually, I think this is one of the ways, and we need to go back. When I say we need to go back to agriculture, this is one of the things we need to actually look up onto. Right now, we're facing economic crisis, not just as Africans, but worldwide. We are living actually the new world, under the new world order, and we all know this. When you're speaking about the collapse of the dollar, collapse of the bank system, collapse of all this that we're seeing right now, we know what is really going on. The agenda, okay? We know what is really, really going on. But when you come back to now, how we can really save ourselves, personally, I think I said we've neglected most of the wealthiest ways of literally keeping us going, especially as African people. Yesterday, we were talking about lands, and you remember one of the things we learned, you should not be getting a land in Ghana. Sister Libera, get your money back, sister. Get your money back. I tell you, go find someone who's super desperate, sell the land to them, take your money, you go your way. That is the only way. That is the only way you'll get that land back. But yes, when we're speaking about lands, and I think personally one of the examples I gave with Tanzania, we've seen that most of the people have their own compounds, and behind each compound, there's a little garden going on. Perfect example is the mansion, like what we had in Tanzania. We had different types of fruits. We had different types of fruits. You remember, if you could see that, we even had melons, different types of fruits. So definitely if it comes to maybe you introducing all this to the market, there's one way or another you're benefiting. But personally, what I'd say, this is a story from Zimbabwe. Out of just wild mushrooms, this lady is making a living. Let me get to share my screen with you as I get to share this mini video of what is going on there. And personally, as I give my thoughts, because personally I feel we have so many ways of surviving as African people. The things we think, like, they do not really matter at all, they do really matter. Mushrooms, it's selling, especially in the villages. Trust me, people are eating mushrooms like it's meat. And I got that when I went to the village the first time to see my grandma. The meat, the type of meat I got, it was the mushrooms. When you're coming from Nairobi, from the city, you guys are supposed to be prepared some special meals and all that. There's always that, culture. I'll call it a culture that is always trended. When you have people from the village or from the city, they're going to the village, there's always that special meal, and all that. But what we got personally was mushrooms. And I ended up loving it. And some other things are not even say, but they were really, really, really good. Because that would be another bushmeat that Jerome Mosquito would be coming for me. But let me share this.
Truck on the Arari Highway. They hope to entice the drivers buying the fruits of the harvest, colorful wild mushrooms. In Zimbabwe, the bush took them to supplement their income. This is bush where we cut mushrooms. We wake up early morning around 3 a.m. and walk deep into the bush. We don't come late in the day because it's addicted to.
Again, something, when I look at now this, I love this actually shows. I don't know if you guys get the pictures. Like when you go back to the video I was showing about the biogas guy, who was using the chicken poop to create biogas, and this biogas is generating literally gas in his house, pumping his car, pumping his water, and all that. And we saw the BBC coming to cover this story, and I was so disgusted. Them using a cartoon type of sound. You're taking that like a joke. This another one in Zimbabwe. That was actually in Kenya, the biogas guy. This is in Zimbabwe. Generally, what I'm trying to show, or rather to tell you, is that we have media always coming to cover up story, but in deep end, we also have to realize there's an agenda behind it. They're exposing our wealth, because let me tell you, this is wealth. This is something that is generating income in this woman's life. She has said, you've heard it clearly, it's generating income in her life. These are people who are literally maybe struggling in the best minimalist way to pay school fees, to just put something on the table at the end of the day, to maybe pay some medical budgets that have even been made super expensive for African people. This is something that is being covered by media. Then the next time we're going to see is Bill Gates has landed. Killer Gates has landed. No, Bill Gates, no, you guys. Bill Gates has landed in Zimbabwe. And is now interested in looking how it can really improve the growth of mushrooms. Then the next thing we know, literally what is happening, we have now genetically modified mushrooms being grown. Remember, these mushrooms grow naturally. According to, I've grown around agriculture, so you can't tell me someone plants mushroom, they come out naturally and they are consumable, not poisonous. As much as I've had their poisonous ones, I don't know how you get to indicate that. Rather, no, I'm not sure. I'll confirm that. But yes, there are ones which are not really consumable. It's good to see this. But again, I think as African people, we need to cover what is ours, but not always exposing it to them. Let's generate let's contribute the information by giving it to the rest of the people within our community, not to the media, because this is them finishing us, and we know the crisis was getting into, and they're now even coming to the lands, the farms.
To be in this place. The owners of this place don't allow people to come and pick mushrooms here. To Polite Mugobo heading out to collect mushrooms with her husband and son. She says it's not a task for the faint-hearted. We meet a lot of challenges when picking mushrooms in this area. Sometimes we meet thugs and they steal everything from us. We also have to be careful so that we don't get attacked by dangerous wolves.
So you see all these struggles that they are going through. You can even see it's literally small mushrooms, that they're trying to make an income out of. But even apart from that, from that, we have goons in the village who are even attacking these women because they're just trying to make a source of income, through wild mushrooms. I mean, why are you coming to attack me when you can go pick your own? African people, I don't know what sometimes is really wrong with us. I totally do not really get it clearly. Why don't you come and ask me about how I'm generating my income, instead of you coming to rob my income while it is literally free of charge, generated by the nature, like literally abundance just coming out naturally, and you're taking even that away from me? You must be stupid dumb.
The family team combed through the morning dews for shoot tops under trees and dry leaves. Once they have enough, they clean their bounty and arrange it in bowls to sell. We sell the mushroom for a plate like this during the rainy season. Our customers regularly stop on highway to buy mushrooms. On a good day or during the weekend, we go home with about $20 to $15 each. It requires expert knowledge and training to learn which mushrooms are safe to eat.
Women such as Bobobo are dominant players in the voice
have not basically hunters. So they have passed this generation to say whenever women go in, harvest wild foods, whenever they go in and probably looking for firewood, whenever they go in and probably looking at any other delicacies, which are not animals, of course, which is hunting, they normally go in with their daughters.
to promote safe mushroom consumption and year-round income generation. The government is promoting small-scale commercial production of certain types, such as oyster mushrooms.
That is part of
A group of women brought on to make highway.
let me get that. I think my internet is buffering. Okay, we're back. Let me know, Danny, if you can really hear me clearly. But I'm saying that is part of if he's saying that women have been part of what was the term again? Part of the gathering, but not hunters. I believe right now women have been. I believe women have been hunters because if I'm going to fetch firewood, if you believe hunting all, it's only just coming in terms of me going to kill a bushmeat, then you're so wrong. I'm a hunter in so many ways. You know, I believe women, African women have been hunters. They have not been gatherers, because when it comes to gatherers, I don't know what you're really talking about. But that is something very positive I wanted to talk about. And of course, I'd encourage you to take some mushrooms, which I really, really recommend. It's quite healthy. Personally, if you don't do spices, just do it naturally. Because mine, the one I consumed was non-spice. So I don't think if I am to cook it again, I don't know if it's gonna be as good as it was, but I'd love to try mushrooms again and again and again and again. But I do eat them in rice. Yeah, at times when I buy it, maybe in the supermarket. But you also see, Danny, you're saying that so I'm sure you will love a mushroom Swiss, a burger or fried mushroom with a sprinkle of paprika with a ranch sauce of on the side. Well, probably I will. Probably I will. But I, like I told you yesterday, it's all about just maintaining. I think personally for me, it's I say the first impression, right? The first impression should always remain in food. Like there's that in food, like that should always remain, it shouldn't change. So the I got in mushroom the first time, I don't think I'm gonna do it spiced. I think it's spiced, I'm not sure, but yeah, thank you so much for letting me, you can hear me. But on moving on to the more matters, I also want to talk about, like I said, I'm gonna be talking about what is going on in Namibia, or rather what is supposed to be happening in Namibia. Yesterday we had a protest done between five African countries. We had Tunisia, Nigeria. I can't, like I said yesterday, I had that information from the news here in Kenya. I don't know which is the fifth country. I don't know if it's Haiti, not really sure. But I know of South Africa and Kenya. Yesterday there was a mass protest about the economic crisis that are facing Africans, not just Africans, we're saying worldwide, because I had someone question, rather saw someone questioning, why are we protesting? Don't you understand that this is a new world order? For me, I'm not really surprised because we've been, Keith has been telling us all this for the longest time. This is going to come, it's going to get to a point where all this is going to be happening. But my happiest thing about it is to see Africans literally now realizing that we really can't take revolution into our hands. Again, like I asked, for those who shall be catching up with this show later, what do you feel? Because my quote of the day today was, the revolution is in the, let me get to read that for you again. I lost it. The revolution has always been in the hands of the young, and the young always inherit the revolution. The revolution always has always been in the hands of the young, and the young always inherits the revolution. That is my quote of the day. And for me, I ask you, do you feel like, yes, revolution will be inherited by the young? Because right now is looking forward. We know revolution is in the hands of the young, but will the young inherit the revolution? That is the question. Will they? But personally, I'd say yes. Like you said, for you, Danny, I'd say yes. Because yesterday, clear evidence, we're seeing young youths coming. I never saw any old person, sorry to say, any aged person, not really old, but aged comes with respect. I never saw any aged person, on the streets demonstrating. And if there were, pardon me, but I don't think they would be super energetic like the way we are as youths. They'll be running away. And these are the majority who are literally in the house because it was a holiday. They choose to stick in the house and literally see what the media is saying. There are those who are actually, I saw someone tweeting, like, I saw someone's tweet. I saw someone's tweet yesterday saying that I'm happy to see. He said he's routing for South Africa, protesting, but not the rest of the countries, because for him, he believes Julius Malema is his hero and a true leader. And he hashtag Mandamano. And I asked him, why are you routing for one country and not the African continent? Because personally, I'm in Kenya and I'm routing for South Africa too. So why are you routing for just one African country? Till now, he's not really replied me, and I'm still waiting for the answer. And this is what we really need to realize. As much as we're claiming the inheritance, because I'd find maybe that's someone aged or maybe young who does not know what is really happening. There are those who I saw yesterday complaining about, oh, we've had our businesses closed and all this. Even your business, there's a way it is being affected by this economy you don't want to demonstrate about. This economy you don't want to demonstrate about. But back to the point, we're not talking about Namibia. Kenya yesterday held its demonstration, South Africa as well. I love the South African one. It was so peaceful. Man, it was so peaceful. These people walking their way. I mean, they had police officers, contributing, promoting fear, and by some block, to block the roads and all that. But it was a peaceful demonstration. And like in Kenya, the police officers were staged and they began throwing tear gas at people. 2 people so far have been confirmed dead as students. And like I said earlier, beginning of the show, for me, if I am a student, of course, I'm young. And I'm demonstrated because I'm seeing my parents struggle to pay school fees for me, which should be actually easy to access, but it has been made expensive. So I have a right to demonstrate for what my parents can't, because I am the one who is being affected as the youth, as the revolutionist. Okay, basically what is happening in I'm so happy to see what Namibia is doing right now, and I can't wait to see what is going to be happening. But they're saying that Namibia is looking for, and actually they're doing it in the Independence Day. You know how this is melting. When I was telling you guys yesterday, I felt like my heart was really melting because of joy. That is how I feel right now. Like, you just feel some certain type of, I'm in love with this, like, I'm not promoting war, but like, I'm like, it's not war. It doesn't have to be war because the leaders want to make it war. But I'm happy to see African people rising up and getting to realize that, we don't need to be living in shit anymore. And when I say shit, I mean poverty. We don't need to be begging for any of these jobs. Like I said, they are giving you an expensive education. You have PhDs, masters, all the papers required by them, a system they set up, but you're not going to get that job opportunity after them making you waste money in their own system. It doesn't make any sense. And these are things we need to start calculating. Where our money is going, where our taxes are being used, and all this. But Namibia is looking forward to be protesting today on the Independence Day. And they're saying that Namibian activists are vowed to go with the protest against unemployment, despite a police ban, as the country marks 33 years of independence today. And the Inspector General Police, Joseph Shikongo, yesterday directed the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters to choose another day to protest. No, we do not need another day. That is what I'd say the Namibians, and as Africa in general. We do not need any other day. If we decide it's today, it's today. It happens today, right now. There's one of the comments I read before. Let me just take you a little bit back. I don't know if I really screenshotted it, but let me see if I can really get it. Let me see if I can really get it. I can't really get it. But I saw a certain comment somewhere, and it really impressed me. Someone said that, we don't need to be told when we should really be postponing this protest. It should be right here, right now. No postponement. And I'm happy because this is happening on Independence Day for Namibians. We should be happening for the rest of the countries, if possible, every day till we're had, until we have a revolution. I love what Kenya is doing. Mondays, that is amazing. We can't really make it every day because it's going to be affecting people's life, of course. But Mondays is good. At least that shows something. We're yearning for something and we're not going to stop. Namibia is doing it on Independence Day. Do you know how that amazing is? There are people who do not really understand, those who really understand independency has never existed. That is what I get from this. Clearly, no debates, mic drop. That is what literally I get from this. They understand that there is no such thing called as independence, as Ama Independence Day as Namibians. They do understand that. And the thing that Mr. Shikongo said, holding protest on Independence Day may cause feelings of hostility. We don't care. Our feelings have always been hurt all along. If it's 33 years of independence for them, then their feelings they've been hostile all along. And what do you mean by feelings of hostility? We are expressing at that point. We want our feelings expressed because we don't care about what you terminate. We want ours heard as individuals. They're going there protesting as individuals because of how they feel. They have been squeezed, literally on chokehold, by this system. So no postponement, not them trying to describe how feelings are going to be, you don't literally even, you've not even seen the day, you're already describing it. But they're saying that MEFF activists have, however, said they will go on their demonstrations and accuse the government of undermining their rights by deciding when the protest should happen, period. Like I said, you should not be having no discussion about when the protest should be held. It's right here, right now. We need it, and it needs to happen. And that's the end of discussion. No postponement of tomorrow. Tomorrow's you pocket the money, you keep on stealing. You keep on giving away the lands. There's no tomorrow. Who feels it, knows it. Remember that song? Who feels it, knows it. Okay, but they're saying that also that the MEFF activist Michael has called on unemployed youth to join the nationwide protest and has said unemployment in the country has now nationally increased. Generally, remember the time I was looking for you at the GD, I was trying to look at the number of unemployed people, and which majority is the youth, definitely in Africa. If you can go back to my show, you'll see the number I said it was there, but it's quite a number. Billions of people have not been employed. Billions. This is actually a good move. I'm so happy to see. Let me tell you this. Within time, we're gonna see Africans taking over, because clearly what I get from this is that we're waking up. Look at Kenya, South Africa. Okay, fine. Tunisia might not be an African country. Sorry, Keith, but it is still in Africa. And I believe what I said, we can fight back for our countries. We don't care about the invaders anymore. And I hope at this point when we're protesting, we need to also bear that in our minds, that we do not need them. They should not even be part of protest. I saw yesterday some Zungus and Chinese being protesting in our protest, and I'm like, what the, huh? What? You're not Kenyan, bro. You know, you're barely, no, you're not even, no, you're not African. You do not understand my problems as African. You do not understand my problem as an African person. What are you talking about? Trying to copy me? You're copying me, literally trying to fit in my culture. Hello, that is what you're trying to steal my culture even by protesting. Like you wanna act like you're protesting like me. What's wrong with you? You know, it's funny to see that these people literally, they even now protesting with us. No. By the time I'm seeing you actually even running, I should be knocking the shit out of you and die and go, go claim. You should not be there trying to protest with Africans. You do not understand the problems of African people. You don't. Never have, never will. I also saw that in South Africa. And this is what I'm saying. I don't know if Africans, as they're claiming for revolution, if they also understand who we're fighting. Because we're not just fighting those who have been kept in power. They're those who have power outside the continent. And that is who we need to start dealing with. Those who are actually in the continent. That is where we should start. We'd be like, yo, you need to catch a flight, bro. We don't care. Catch a flight, go. Let us protest in peace. Don't try to come copy me. Trying to copy my culture. You do not understand my pain. You don't totally. Do not even try to do that, because it's like you're mocking me. That is like a mock. Seriously, we think it's a joke. That is a serious mock. We're protesting about people who are being kept in power, but again, we need to remember the ones in power being kept in power by people with power. Okay? And those with power, the mini-me's of them are here. They're here. But again, I'm saying congratulations. One thing I'm happy about, again, I'm happy to see that African countries are waking up. The African continent in general is waking up. Like I said, we have Kenya, we have South Africa, we have Haiti, I guess. We were supposed to be having Nigeria. Nigeria, I think, I don't know what really happened, or they got scared, but they are the majority. And this is one thing we're seeing now, with the majority. I was so happy to see yesterday youths chasing after police, and the police got scared, and they're even running, climbing walls. Like, it is amazing. I'm happy to see people waking up. And again, it's gonna get to a point when you keep on speaking all these African countries, it's just invaders who are living there. When you speak of Tunisia, Libya, it is an African. It is in the continent. We don't care about the invaders, and it's gonna get to that point. Trust you me, the Africans won't give a shit. Only if we bear in mind who we are also fighting. That is all I'd say. But congratulations to Namibia. I'm looking forward to see how the protest goes. I hope that nobody gets killed like we saw right here in Kenya. Using of real bullets, and also throwing tear gas at citizens who are just protesting for their rights. Because when when you see the government coming forth and telling them that you need to postpone the day of a protest, no, that means that you're postponing the day you should be listening to me, and which is really written because it's constitutional. And of course, I'm happy to see that the activists are also like, no, you're not going to tell us how we should run the protest. We need to be heard. There's lack of employment in this country. It needs to be dealt with. But they're also saying that he said Namibia would celebrate 33 years of high unemployment, high poverty, corruption, governance, looting and mismanagement of the country. And we're speaking Africa-wide, okay? We're speaking Africa-wide. Put Rwanda aside for me, please, because, hey, Rwandese have been, hey, those people are getting spoiled right now, if I'd say. I think Rwandese are starting to be spoiled. It's another America on the builds, It's another, American dream on the build, I'd say so. But for the Mzungu, if only we do not really fight them outside the country, outside the continent, it's gonna be another America for the Mzungu. Because again, remember, they love Africa as well. They know what they're coming for. They know what they're coming for. But you see, in the last week, President Hage Geingob dismissed calls for some MPs to declare youth unemployment a national crisis, but agreed it was a serious problem, and could push young people to terrorize for survival, to terrorism of survival. And the president said that the government planned to create close to 3,000 jobs. 3,000 jobs. Let me look at the population of Namibia for you guys, okay? Let me see the population of Namibia. Let's see. And lack of employment, okay? Unemployment, right? Let's see. What's the population of Namibia? Population of Namibia is 2.53 million GDP recorded by 2021. And right now, if I'm unemployed, let's see the population of unemployed. Let's see. Unemployed. Okay. The population of unemployed people in Namibia, that was, let me see, 2023. Okay. Okay, they're saying that in the long term, the Namibian unemployment rate is projected to trend around 23% in 2023 and 22% in 2024, according to economic models. I don't think they really want to give me I want to see like in numbers. I want to see like in millions what it is, the 23% and all the no. So high. Okay, let's see. This is in the lack of education and early school dropout. So there's lack of education. So you're telling me to not to protest about lack of education? Because listen, they're saying that the unemployment rate is so high in Namibia because of lack of education and early school dropouts. School dropouts. So you're basically telling me not to protest about my rights. And this is why we see in Kenya there's a student who has been killed because of, I'm protesting because of you raising the cost of school fees, school uniforms, and even school textbooks. Because maybe my parent cannot do that. They do not really understand how this system works. And if I try to explain to them, for them, it's going to be all about just complaining about the money, the money, the money, the money. But I know what you're doing as a youth. So you're telling me not to protest about that? You crazy, saying this because lack of education and early school dropouts, lack of experience, okay, and lack of technical skills, which it's literally in most of the African countries. If it is skills, we should talk about. If we talk about African countries improving skills, we had computer. We should have first have introduced computer classes a long time ago. We've had this, but it's like been a dormant thing, especially like in primary schools and high schools. You basically have to pay for computer classes aside when you're done with high school. This is how selfish this system is. These are things we should literally grow up with them. By the time you're done with school, no more studying them like aside. You go out with full package of experiences, is now just starting to build the society. But you're wasting so much time, even in education. It's just super crazy how Africa really, where we've really been kept. And it's all on purpose. If you speak of skills, let's talk about we had what they call laptops. I don't know, the laptops that, if I really think they were laptops, that Uhuru had introduced in 2013. These laptops, most of them, we saw them being in Uganda, and literally some money was even kept. So if you speak of skills, why was then that taken serious? And why did you give hopes to children and students that you couldn't deliver? Because this comes with skills, an easy way of studying. I don't know, understand Africa anymore. But they're saying that this lack of technical skills that have been identified as signal factors to contribute to high rate of youth unemployment in Namibia and in Consumer region in particular. There's even a particular region. It's like me talking of Kibera. I'm not sure if that is a slang or Tuma, but it is crazy. It is crazy. I'm sending love and peace all the way to Namibian people, and I hope that this protest goes well, because you can't tell me 3,000 jobs are going to cover up. Because if I look at the number, the 2.5 population, I'm certain there's a million of people who have not been employed. 500,000 or maybe even bigger than that. It's crazy. But let me know what you feel about this personally. As for you who's listening to me on the other end, I see Danny saying that, yes, you can hear me. I think I read. So let me know how you feel about this Namibia situation, about them protesting on the Independence Day. Because personally, I'd say as Africans, we do not have anything called independence, and we need to realize this, because the independence we keep on celebrating is, we're celebrating high poverty, like you had them saying high cost of inflation and all. We just like promoting us sinking in all the time, and we need to literally let go of this. This thing called independence, how they termed it, let's find our own terms and let's do it the own way. Let's be free in our own way. That is what I'd say. But basically, let me get to the topic of the day as we get closer to winding up. We got 10 minutes remaining, so I want to talk about Facebook. I bumped into, I think it was last year but one. Last year and also last year but one. We've had so many cases of Meta being accused of literally violating, people, in terms of even not giving specific measures, and when it comes to images that are supposed to be viewed, not to be viewed. Of course, I think they're doing it with Instagram and all that, but still, they have done it by the workers. The workers actually are facing a lot of mental health traumas, which have been caused by Facebook. This is a system that has been running in Africa, but Meta is in denial that they do not even have any of their organizations within Africa, especially more specifically in Kenya. This is an article that was released June 3rd on a Friday, 2022. And Facebook was sued over Meta's mental health traumas that was conducted by one of the content moderators in Kenya. And they're saying Facebook parent company has been sued in Kenya. Then I'll go to now where we want to talk about, because this is not just the first case, the second case, the third case, but what has the African, because Africa again, man, what do I even expect? What do I even expect? What has the African government done? The African government, as if we have one. Because if you speak of the African Union, should be one of the organization dealing with these issues, but apparently this is not the purpose why it's created to be here. But they're saying that Facebook parent company has been sued in Kenya over mental health trauma surfaced by Daniel Motung, a former content moderator who worked for Sama, a contractor hired to remove graphic and violent content on social media sites. Social media sites, which they're the ones who are also still uploading them, because who controls the media? We know who controls the media. So they do have a right to put down our content, but they do not have a right to put down content that might literally, when they know that they're going to be literally disturbing. What's the term I'm gonna use? They're literally going to be traumatizing people's mentality. Listen to this question again. They have the power to pull down our YouTube channel. That is the perfect example I'll give. Okay? They have the right and the power to remove, because they control the media. Okay? They have the power to remove our YouTube channel and give us a strike, but they do not have a power to control these offensive videos that God knows if it's them uploading, just to, my God, faces of death. Man, this gives me an image. These people are just capable of anything, man. Faces of death, bro. These are things that they did recording. These are not just images and videos that leaked. These are videos that have been recorded on purpose to show us who they really are. Okay? Because when I was watching the Faces of Death, I was like, okay, this is not something that happened coincidentally, because it's a way long video. It's like a old video from the graphics, like the long time type of videos, the 90s, the 80s, even the sound, it's not that type of the production we have right now. But I asked myself, did this just happen that someone was trying to leak some, evidence and all that? No, this was a video they recorded doing all this animosity type of culture, take things that they doing, and it has been put outside there for us to see. So you can't tell me they can control our channel, but they can control the images we're seeing on the Faces of Death, which is pure reality, or what we're seeing, what they're trying to make our people, especially African people. Then they're using the key term, we do not have job opportunities. So if you want to work on this, you have to do this. And do you know how much they've been paid? If you can remember, I told you it's $2. You're being paid $2 to remove disturbing images, traumatizing videos, which, I said again, God knows if it's not them uploading them. You can't tell me they lack that power, but they want to use African people to traumatize them. They're saying that the lawsuit was filed by Mercy Mutemi and of Nzili and Sumbi Advocates in Nairobi for Foxglove, a legal non-profit based in London. And Meta and Summer trafficked workers from around Africa to do dangerous work for minimum $2. Remember, this is something I read last year. That was in 2022. But not in June. During the December season, somewhere there was another one who came out with I think it was this year or last year, with the whole article of how much they're being paid, the images they're being. He gave all the examples. But we see this is another one, still in 2022, June. Meta and Summer trafficked workers from around Africa to dangerous work for minimal wages, failed to provide promised mental health counseling, and refused to allow them to set up a union. Inadequate, in quote unquote, inadequate and inconsistent pay, unlawful deduction, undue work pressure caused by impossible performance, quotas and surveillance by Meta system, and toxic working environment created by summer where you can't dare voice your concerns, wrote Motemi on Twitter. And this is saying that we can't have a safe social media if workers who protect us toil in a digital sweatshop. And we're hoping this case will send ripples across the continent and the world. The Summer Nairobi office is Facebook moderation hub for much of East South Africa, reforming Facebook factory. Floor here won't just affect these workers, but should improve the experience of Facebook users in Kenya. Okay, improve the users in Kenya, South Africa, Ethiopia, and other African countries. And Meta has also been accused of generating and promoting hate between South Africa and Kenya. I don't know why. I don't know how. I tried to look for that particular article to see why that happened. But this is another one. This was on February 6th in 2023. And they're saying that a Kenyan judge on Monday, these are different one I'm reading, yeah? A Kenyan judge on Monday rejected an effort by Facebook parent company Meta to be removed from a lawsuit alleging worker abuse, exploitation, and union busting as its Nairobi content moderation app, which is run by a contractor. And lawyers for Meta have urged that Facebook has not registered any office in Kenya and does not operate here. Today, we are on 3rd, 2021. Okay? Another accusation comes out, and then we're all crazy when you try to speak about it. Another accusation comes out, then we're all crazy when you try to speak about it. Let me get to read for you today's accusation, still by Meta. So we've seen one in 2022, that was in June. We've seen that one that was to remember clearly, but I remember clearly, just that I couldn't find the article during the end of 2022. But before even 2022, we've had accusations since 2019. Meta has been accused of so many things, especially damaging the mental health. Right now, still in Kenya, they're saying that 43 Facebook content moderators in Kenya are suing the social media site's parent company Meta for unfair dismissal. And the moderators say that they lost their jobs with Sama, a Kenya-based firm contracted to moderate Facebook content, for organizing a union, and Reuters news agency. So you can see they were trying to, that was in 2022 June, they were trying to even create a union, but they were denied. But right now, because they even pushed with their agenda, they have lost their jobs. They also say that they were blacklisted from applying from the same roles at another outsourcing firm, and after Facebook switched contractors. And exactly that is what they do, even like they did last year when we had someone who accused and gave all the evidence of what they've been doing, paying them minimal wages, overworking them, making them seem disturbing, all this disturbing image. They are being told which images should be displayed in each, in accounts, even the disturbing ones. And this is why you even see them complaining about the Facebook users. Because at times, how many times do you bump into social media, you find so many disturbing images? Unaware. Leave on the ones that they tell you, especially if it is a conspiracy theory. Those are the ones that you're told that this content includes a false information. That is now a conspiracy theory, which is actual facts. The actual fact is a conspiracy theory. But the disturbing ones are supposed to be just displayed, and we need to bump into them anyhow and see what is really going on, the real truth of what they're doing. African people, we need to do better. We go back to the question. As I wind up, and which was the quote of the day. The revolution has always been in the hands of the young. The young always inherit the revolution. Do you believe the young will inherit the revolution? Personally, I believe yes. And these Meta organizations, which personally they have been working with some British, I wish I could read the whole article, but there's a British company that is included in all this, these companies being set in Africa, because you can see they're recruiting Africans, and they're literally facing mental health issues, which they have not even provided any counseling. This is something that needs to be taken serious, because again, yesterday, remember, we've been talking, I think, when you speak about lack of job, employment, lack of unemployment, uh we spoke about it yesterday, and we saw it comes hand in hand with where we're taken to sell. And I think it works even hand in hand with Africa going to sell. You come back from sell, you're not going to get a job, all that, and this comes hand in hand with why we go to your mental health. Then maybe you're never okay. Even if you're killed, they'll claim you're crazy. You're crazy. But you're not crazy because you're trying to speak out the truth. And you're speaking out the truth, there's a job lost because of trying to create an union. Africans, we need to do better. If you need to realize, the revolution is in our hands and we are the inheritors. And that is what I'll finish by saying. And let me know how you feel about today's program that has been topic for today. I did cover what has been going on with the late mini story about Zimbabwe, the mushrooms. Think about that. Change your diet. K. Williams, and Sanken one has been on the neck of people changing their diets. And of course, we also spoke about what is going on in Namibia, Kenya, and South Africa. And I'm calling for the rest of the African country to follow the suits and the roots so that we can call in all for a revolution as one people. But on to me, I've been your host, Joby. This is the Pan African Bliss, and I hope you do enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, remember to catch us up live on the Rhythm Scoop Show. We shall be right here on the radio station. For those who are listening to me through the radio station, shout out to you. For those who are with me on Facebook, Danny, I see you in the building. Thank you so much. And to those who shall be catching up with the repetition of this in terms of podcast on Spotify, I hope you get to enjoy this. Much love. See you guys on the Rhythm Scoop Show. Sometimes it feel like we let go. Our feels in Moses. We are feeling from a little and a grow. Our feels in Moses. I only that alone. Yeah. Think it's easy if we know that early and morning. Than you had a comfort.